Hi, Paul here again, and today I'm with Kathy, who is the convener of the pot plant section. Hello, Kathy.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Now, how long have you roughly been convener of the pot plant section?
I reckon I started in about 2013, having been a steward prior to that.
So a good 7 years, 6 years, 7 years, and steward
Yep.
beforehand. So like a lot of the other sections, you sort of grow up and grow through them as you come along.
Absolutely, that's right.
Right, now pot plant section has basically two different types, a pot plant and a hanging pot plant to start with. But then in there's also, I've noticed, ferns, and then there's cacti, not cactuses,
That's right.
and succulents. Now, what is the difference between those two?
Well, actually, it's a good question because cacti are a member of the succulent family. So succulents is the overall arching thing, and cacti is part of the succulent section. Most succulents don't have spines, but some can have spines. And then we've got all the cacti have areoles, which are little. If I can demonstrate.
Yeah, yes, go grab one.
These things here are called areoles, and this is where the spines grow out of, and quite often the flowers come out of these sections as well. So all cacti plants have these, mostly covered all over them. So that's the difference.
And if you're having trouble working out the difference, you can always contact the convener before the show, and they hopefully can help you out with what's going on.
I've got a very good book that I bring along now to help me decide which section it goes into.
Otherwise, you can use my favourite friend called Google, who might be able to help you out along the way.
Yes, that's right.
Now, you have another section called bonsai, which is just a small plant. Well, it's been made small, hasn't it?
That's right.
I gather they don't happen overnight. That's not an instant thing to have a bonsai plant?
No, I don't know too much about bonsai, but they usually take lots of years to grow, and you have to train them into making all sorts of weird shapes and everything like that. And yeah, they're quite interesting to grow, but I've never tried growing one of those myself.
Okay, so
yes.
It's still a big section of the show, or?
No, it's a very small section. We usually only get the one exhibitor. But he's happy to come all the way from Loveday.
Wow.
To support our show, which is fantastic.
Which is really good, because there's not a lot of people that I would know that do bonsai plants.
No, that's right.
Okay, and the rest is ferns, which is exciting, and then there's normal pot plants, and there's hanging pot, which is one that hangs. Now, at the show, just to help you out, the hanging pots do actually have a frame that they hang on, and there's various different heights, so depending on how much hanging down off the hanging pot there is,
that's right,
we can make room for that to fit in the spot. There's also people bring in pots like that are in wheelbarrows or old boxes or things like that, which still has your pot plant in, and it's quite all right to be decorated that way. But on the show time, they're rather heavy, and we actually have a guy with a sack cart and lots of muscles that can help lift them in and put them into spot. Now, one other thing I'd like to talk about is preparation of your plant before it comes to the show. I just grab it out the fern house and put it in the show, or do I do more than that?
No, absolutely not. I usually start planting way back in March, at least 6 months before the show, because we have to, as part of our criteria for pot plants, we have to have grown the plant for at least 6 months. So I start coming out in March, and if a plant looks too big for the pot, I put it into a bigger pot, or if it's growing lots of little babies around the outside, I will take those out and just sort of tidy them all up and things like that. Usually around about August, when it starts getting warmer weather, I start coming out and fertilising all my pot plants, trimming them up to shape them, and then a couple of weeks before the show, I start fertilise them with liquid fertiliser to give them a bit of a boost, and then I wash all the pots down, wash the plants down as well. I just get a hose with a nozzle on the end of it and give them a spray. Some plants that have strappy leaves, I actually wash them down with a cloth, so you get all the dust off, and it makes them look nice and shiny and clean. Yeah, it's presentable. Get rid of all dead leaves and flowers off of your plants, and spider webs is another thing. Just make it look very nice. And
we don't actually like spiders at the show.
No,
they're too hard to chase away.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So basically make it look as if showroom quality.
That's right, yes.
And do you want to explain about this particular pot?
Yes.
While we're on presentation?
Judges look for different things in a pot, in a pot plant, and this one here has got sort of a grey pot and it brings out the grey in the succulent. So that would look quite presentable for some judges. Other judges don't like that, but it it just depends on the particular judge that you've got. Sometimes it is nice, excuse me, to have the pot as a similar colour to the plant. Yes. In this one under here is actually a green pot, so you sort of can't see the green coming through. So if it was a white, you'd see it, and it doesn't look as nice.
Yeah,
so yeah.
So try and make it look to match as well.
That's right. Yeah. Yes.
One other little thing, when you come into the show and you've got your exhibit ticket for your pot, where do you place that, or how do you set that up?
Okay, well, some people get a pop stick like this, and you can sticky tape your exhibit ticket to the pop stick, and you just pop it in the plant like that. And some people just sticky tape it to the lip of a pot like that. So anything's acceptable. If you just lay it in there, quite often they will go missing. So it's better to attach it.
We have a lot of that sort of trouble. So you don't want to lose them, you don't want them to get wet either.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your information today. It's been really good.
No problem.